going on, YouTube? I know it's been a little while since I've done a video. And in this video I want to talk about lumpers. This place right here that I'm delivering to, it uses a lumper service. There's a really nice Kenworth next to me. I'll just show you guys. Really nice Kenworth next to me, and if you see, there's this white truck. He's trying to back up into this spot over here, and he's having a little bit of trouble. And the guy in the yellow Kenworth, he got out kind of tripping because that white truck was getting so close to him. And I don't blame him. It is a nice truck. It has a little bit of damage to it, but it's a good looking truck. But anyways, back to lumper fees and lumper service. So any of you that's coming into the reefer division, because that's the cool thing about doing these YouTube videos, is I've actually got a chance to talk to some people. Some of you are telling me that you're fixing to start real soon. Gabe messaged me and he said he was on his way, so he should be there. I'm sure he probably got there Sunday. So Gabe, if you're watching this video, man, I hope you're enjoying so far. I hope everything's going great for you. I hope it's working out for you, and I hope you're liking it so far. And anybody that's coming, the best thing you can do to prepare for you when you get here is go over your CDL manual. Go ahead and read over your the CDL manual for like if you're coming into the reefer division, you're going to need your tanker endorsement. So you're going to have to take your tanker test. Let's see. You'll do a hazmat certification. You won't actually get your hazmat endorsement here, but you will do a hazmat certification at Prime. So if you wanted to look over some of the hazmat stuff, you could. And I'm going to tell you, I used a app called CDL Prep. Look that up. In your Google store or Apple store, whatever you use, look that up. CDL Prep is what it's called, and it will actually give you quizzes and tests over your endorsements. So it kind of helps prepare your mind for questions that are going to arise. I feel like that app really helped me, because just reading the manual, yeah, that was good, but being able to be asked questions helped me retain it better. So yeah, if you need that help, go check that out. CDL Prep. And but yeah, read your manual, and especially on your endorsements. Like I said, you're going to need your tanker, and then of course your brakes is automatic. And see, I can't remember all of them. I would have to go back and look, but anyways, look it up, research it, go over it, and it'll help give you a head start on if you're coming to Prime. So yeah, Gabe, he's there. I hope you're doing good. Hope everything's going well. Pneumonio, I don't know if that's how you pronounce your name, but you said you were thinking about coming in June. That's awesome. I hope it works out for you, and I hope you do stick with that decision, especially if you're looking like I was for that change, and also making money on that change. I mean, you get paid to see the country, and you asked me about lease, going straight to lease after TNT. I've said it before, I agree with a lot of Prime drivers that say that you ought to go company for at least a year. My trainer, luckily I got to work as a company driver, and then for the year that I was on his truck, and then I switched to lease once you know, after he passed away and I turned his truck in for his wife, she let me run it until New Year's, and I turned it in after New Year's, and then I leased my own truck in January of 2020. So, you know, I got to stay on his truck and get used to running certain routes and stuff. And so that's why I agree with some of these prime drivers that say you ought to do a year of company, because that experience is really going to help you if you decide to go lease. You know, because you're probably going to make some mistakes, and you can make those mistakes while you're company. That way, when you're lease, you kind of have a better idea of like, oh, you know, made this mistake before, don't want to do that again. So, and then Dan Flagg, you're the one that asked me about the dash cams on these trucks, and you said you're coming, I believe you said in around June as well. So yeah, I hope that works out for you. I know you said you know, it was kind of depending on some things going a certain way for you, and so I hope they do. I hope they go that way for you, and I hope you guys come and drink the Prime Kool-Aid and join our cult. No, that's just something that some of these people say out here, that you're drinking the Kool-Aid, you're drinking the Kool-Aid. Well, listen, we've all got to start somewhere. It's just like I had a guy make a comment, and I really was hoping he would be a pleasant guy to talk to, because I really wanted to kind of have a decent conversation with him, but he ended up being vulgar and ignorant. So, but you know, he said that he had his own truck, and that after expenses and stuff, he was making $1,000 a day. Well, let me tell you, don't let people like that get in your head, because first off, I've done my research, and you're not gonna always make that kind of money. And he said it was in a box truck. You know, not everybody can just start off with just buying a truck and jumping into making that kind of money and stuff. And biggest part of people out here, they don't make that kind of money. So don't let people like that fill your head, making you think that you're going to get out here making that kind of money, because most likely the percentage of people out here doesn't make that kind of money, and most likely you're not either, unless you have some ties to somebody or a company or something that is willing to pay you that. And I still don't know if I necessarily believe him after his expenses anyway, because like I said, I've watched a lot of videos on people that own their own trucks and stuff, man, and that is a rarity to make $1,000 a day after expenses. I mean, I've seen guys on here, watched guys on videos that they own 3 trucks just to make around what he said he's making, you know, $1,000 a day. So, you know, you just got to watch who you listen to out here, and you know, if he was making that kind of money, I really again wished he would have had a decent conversation with him. But when I told him congratulations, let us know, you know, said, you know, give us some of your wisdom, he said, simple, don't be a P word and go buy you a truck. Listen, if you're gonna talk like a child, don't even bother commenting. I mean, that's ridiculous. If you want to have an adult conversation, I'm willing to listen. I'm willing to put your name out there, and I'm willing to have a talk with you. I think that would be great. But if you're going to get on there and act like a kid, and it ain't the cuss words, because I'm a cusser. I don't cuss on here, but when I get around a group of people, I cuss about every other breath. So it ain't the cuss words either. But don't come on here calling people names and talking stupid crap, you know, just to try to get your little 5 minutes of attention or whatever it is that it may be. Like, have an adult conversation. Jeez. I mean, it's that simple. Just talk to people like they're humans, just like I talk to people like they're humans. I mean, I just don't understand it. But anyway, my ADD kicked in and I got way off on something else, didn't I? But yeah, congratulations, Gabe. I'm glad you're here, and I hope it works out for you. And I hope you guys, the rest of you that I've talked to that's planning on coming, I hope you guys can come and join up. It's a great first step to getting into the industry, and there's some people I know that's been in the industry for quite some time. I don't know them personally, but I've talked to them, you know, at Prime and stuff, that's been in the industry for a long time, have left Prime and have come back to Prime. I talked to two older gentlemen. I didn't get their names, but we was both standing in line to order food, and they said that they had left Prime for a couple years and that they came back because they couldn't find any place that treated them as good as Prime does. So just keep that in mind. There's a lot of people I've known. My trainer had left Prime and he came back too. So I'm not saying that everybody comes back, but there's a lot of them that do. They come back. So anyway, back to lumpers before my ADD kicked in. Lumpers. Anybody that's hauling reefer, you're probably more than likely gonna run into having to pay lumpers. Now, when I say pay lumpers, don't think that that's out of your own pocket. We're going to talk about that. So just like at this receiver here, I'm in Chicago, Illinois, they have a lumper service. What a lumper service is this company hires a third party company that come in and unload these trucks. So here I think it's Capstone, one of the worst lumper services, but one of the most popular lumper services I run into out here. I've ran into some others, but usually it's Capstone. And the largest percentage of time they take forever. So that's why I wanted to talk to you guys about this, because I haven't talked to y'all about it yet, and you know, you're definitely going to probably run into it. Like I said, if you're doing reefer, I don't think tanker ever uses lumpers. I don't know that for sure, and I don't figure that flatbed probably does either, to be honest with you. Intermodal, think if I remember correctly, someone told me that they're usually mostly like drop hooks more often than reefer division, but don't hold me to that either. They may run into lumper services every now and again because they pretty much pull a reefer trailer, but it's an intermodal. It's made for hauling on ships and trains. So but anyways, so yeah, right here is a Comm Check. These Comm Checks work with your fuel card that you get from Prime. So what you'll do whenever you run into a lumper service, a lot of times you'll back in, or sometimes they'll tell you ahead of time, but usually what happens for me is I back in, they'll check the paperwork, they'll unload me, and then they'll call me with an amount. So these companies, they use these third-party companies to unload our trucks. Now, they're just warehouse workers, and that come and unload your trailer. Occasionally, you'll run into a place where you can unload your own trailer. So if you're a warehouse worker, before you came to be a truck driver and you have that experience, I don't have that experience. But if you know your way around a warehouse, and you have that opportunity, Prime does pay you. Now, they don't pay you very much to unload your own freight, but they do pay you. I learned that with my trainer, because he had actually called to see how much we were going to get paid one time if we'd done it ourselves, and come to find out it wasn't a whole lot. And he asked me if I wanted to, and I said, well, not really. I've done hard labor my entire life. That's one of the reasons why I went to reefer division, because I wanted a more laid back job. So I always pay the lumpers. I don't do it. Plus, I don't know my way around a warehouse, you know, like someone that may have done it before. So it could end up taking me longer to unload my own truck. So, because what these lumpers do is they come in, they pull the product off your truck. Usually your product is stacked so high, they have to break it down to make the pallet size shorter. So they'll bring in more pallets, and they'll take the top like 4 or 5 layers off of the one pallet and move it over to another pallet. So they basically make 1 pallet of product 2 pallets of product. In this process of doing so, they label the product with stickers, and then they have a scanner and they scan it. They scan it in, showing that it has been delivered. And then if you ever go to these places, sometimes when you go into the office, you'll see Capstone. They'll be standing there at a printer, and this printer will spit out all these stickers, big old stack of stickers. And that's what those stickers are. They label it, they scan it, so that way the product is entered in and shown as delivered. Now, depending on how much product you brought them and how many pallets, new pallets they have to stack. So say you brought in 20 pallets and they ended up having to stack those pallets down onto another 10 pallets. So you end up 30 pallets at the end. They charge you, usually I think it's by pallet, they charge you for how many pallets they've got to stack down. So the price can range significantly. I've paid anywhere from $65, which I don't think that was Capstone, but I've paid anywhere from $65 all the way up to like $300 and something dollars. Now, the sad part about these lumper services is that they can take forever too. So even though I'm not familiar with a warehouse and it could take me forever, it could also take them forever. But another thing is you could risk a chance of getting injured doing it yourself, and then you're, what are you going to do then? You know, you can't deliver the rest of your product, or you can't take on another, you know, load, or whatever the case may be. So I don't want to risk that either. So anyways, when I say you pay, you use one of them Comm Checks, you message Prime, your dispatcher, and you tell them how much the lumper fee is. They put it onto your fuel card. You call the number on the back of your fuel card. You go through the automated service thing, and then you type in how much money you need. Then you type in, you know, the check number, and you fill out the check, and then you take it in. Now, since COVID, a lot of these places are going to they're using like an app to go through. They'll send you a link in your text message when they're done unloading you, and then you go into that link and it'll have your PO number and it'll have the price number. So then you just do the same thing, dispatcher, tell them how much, they put it on the fuel card, and then they give you a code in the app, and then you register the money to that code instead of registering it to a paper check. Works the same way pretty much though, because then you go in, you type in your company name, you know, all that stuff. So pretty much works the same way. Then there's another way to do it, and it's called an express code. Call in the Prime registers the money to an express code, and then you still fill out a little bit of paperwork showing the express code stuff, and you turn it in, which I think is what I'm going to have to do here, and you pay them through an express code. Now, you do pay a fee for doing this. You get reimbursed for the amount that the lumpers charge you, but you still have to pay $1 for each time you use a Comm Check, $1 fee, and then $2, I believe it's, last time I heard it was $2 for an express code. So you still get charged a fee. That does suck. But, you know, I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, it is what it is, you know. I mean, you could be, these Comm Check booklets are free, so you could be buying, you know, like a bank does, buying a booklet of checks, but instead you get the checks for free and you just pay $1 fee each time you use one. I'm getting a phone call. So anyway, now I've heard a lot of people complain about these lumper fees, and they're like, oh my gosh, they're so high, and blah, 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 blah. These people may be paying out of pocket, I don't know, but from what I understand, most brokers or companies, they reimburse you. Prime reimburses you for the full amount except for the $1 fee for using the Comm Check, or the $2 fee for an express code. So, you know, I don't understand the whole complaint on that. And then also, I've heard people say that Abacus, I mean, I didn't run into it. This is the first time I've done taxes with them, but I've heard that Abacus will try to put those lumper fees off on you from Prime. Now, they made it sound like a bad thing, but if I understand it correctly, if you actually got reimbursed for those fees, but then Abacus is putting it on your taxes that you paid for those fees when you didn't, because you got reimbursed, then that's a good thing, ain't it? Because that means you got to deduct something from your taxes that you didn't even pay for. I mean, sounds like a good thing to me, because if I made $80,000, but then they turn around and they say, oh yeah, you also paid, you know, $3,000 in lumper for service fees when I didn't, because I got reimbursed through Prime, then that's $3,000 I get to deduct off my taxes that I get a credit for. So that doesn't sound like a bad thing to me. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of hit on that, because it is definitely, if you're coming to the reefer division, it is definitely something you're going to run into out here. Again, I don't run into it very often, maybe once or twice a month, kind of depending. This is kind of like an LTL load, which is less than load, less than truckload. I had 3 stops on this one, 2 here in Chicago, and then my last one is down in Kentucky. So the first place I delivered to did not charge me a lumper fee. This place uses Capstone. They will charge me a lumper fee. Now, I'm not sure about the one down in Kentucky yet. I won't know until I get there tomorrow. So, but they do sometimes waste a lot of time. That's the only problem I have with them. Now, you do get paid detention, so it isn't like you just lose out on a lot of money. And in this situation here, I've got another place I got to deliver down in Louisville tomorrow. So, you know, if they take a while, it's not that big of a deal. But again, it kind of is, because if I could get down and stay the night somewhere close to my delivery tomorrow and get a 10-hour break in, and then get up and deliver at my earliest appointment tomorrow and get unloaded there fairly quick, then the quicker I can get on another load. A load's going to pay you more money than the detention's going to pay you. But, I mean, it kind of is what it is. You know, at least I do get detention, and you get paid for sitting in the back of your truck watching TV, or, you know, whatever you want to do. So it's not the most horrible thing, but at the same time, it is an aggravation, because you know in the back of your mind that you could probably be getting on another load sooner and be making more money off of that load. So, but thing is, when you get stuck with a lumper, you pretty much just got to keep your cool and just go through with it. I mean, the longest I've stayed at a place was probably around 10 hours, 8 to 10 hours. And I marked down on my list as not to ever return. But anyways, I hope everybody's doing good out there. If you have any more questions, oh my gosh. If you have any questions about lumper service, maybe something that I left out, I mean, I pretty much got the gist of it, I think. You know, I mean, the main thing that you need to know. But yeah, if you got any questions and it's something I can answer, or if I have to, I'll ask my dispatcher and, you know, get an answer from him. So, you know, I've enjoyed the comments. I've enjoyed talking to you guys, and, you know, so don't hesitate. Now, it might take me a little while to get back with you, but yeah, don't hesitate if you've got any questions, or you know, need to talk about something. So I appreciate you guys. As always, stay safe, stay alert, and I'll catch you on the next vid.